1, a 2, and a 3. Hey now! Guess what? I'm feeling productive. I just got a comment on the new video I posted today, and I'm going to answer it right now. Yes, brother, I do have tons of paper. I've got too many paper goods, paperbacks. Matter of fact, let's go uncover some right now because your little comment got me motivated. First, let's touch on it. Paper goods are amazing for value. Now, this is something I kind of sit on for retirement. And you bear with me, guys, because what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull some tubs real quick and see if I can't uncover some paper goods and show you. Now, basically the comment was, hey man, can you do a video on paperback books, paper collectibles, which can be a calling card, can be an old business advertisement. Look, here we go. Prime example. Here's a tub full. Now, of course, we got a football in there, so we're going to move that aside. But these are all things that were pulled out of dumpsters over the years, and I stashed them. Everything from little paper cards to postcards to room service at the new Sheraton Motor Inn, New York City. Now, what year is this from? This is ancient. And someone already actually tried to sell this. Look, it's marked $1.25. No, paper goods, old maps. Look at this, a Black Sabbath sticker. Not such a big paper deal, but, ooh, Slayer ones. I was wondering where those frickin' things were. Cool. One out. Hang that up. But, man, I got tons of this old stuff. You say, like what? Look at this. Mounting corners, postcards, written letters from 1918, these old, what are these called? Gosh, recipe books. But this is a small one, kind of a, and this is from, can't find a date, but it's an old one for gelatin. Home movie pamphlets. Tons of this stuff has value. And this is the kind of stuff you can sell in your retirement. This is not an old dresser that you have to flip up. Look at this one here. Healthy baking powder. I would buy this stuff by the box loads back in the day because I knew that I could sell it. And I used to do a lot of this on eBay. 30th anniversary, Viking stuff. Here's a great one. Here's an old bridge card from Minnehaha Cleaners. They would give these out bridge score games, but look at that Art Deco woman on there. Annual speed contest. What the heck could that be? American Institute of Banking, 1926. Sergeant's Dog Books. These can go across the boards. Graphite Arcs Monthly, March 1942. Look at that. Awesome. The Chemist Analysis. Here's an old TV digest. This one is 1973, January 13th. The year when my son was born. An old calendar, 1938. Popular Medicine, Sex, Health, Body Care, 25 cents. That's an oldie. Commencement for an opera house. An old journal. Man, even an old... What is this? This is just like a cleaning tissue to clean away into old photographs. Man, I've got a ton of this. This is really cool here. I believe this is for... This is a postcard from an old stripper. I want to say... let's go strippers. Burlesque dancers, fishing, safe cycling. Look at this. Ancient. On book, selecting, you know, from book, old farmer guides. Man, all over the place. Old German books, a football guide. Now, this is a too old, 1995. Still stashed it. Still put it away. Here's a great one. 1952, Minneapolis Bombers Pro Football versus the Waterloo Wildcats. This is a program from that game. Basketball tournament, 1962, Minnesota State High School League. You go over into here, and with just more recipes. Little Batman patches that I'd found. Gosh, man. You know, I haven't even looked in here in a long time. I've got tons of this. Tons, tons, tons. You and your bike. Awesome. 1950s. Here's a great Hubley little cartoon book. that you probably would get with toys. Whatever the case. American Airlines, remember, airline stuff is highly collectible. Discharge service record booklet for Norman. Is anything in here? Nope. Just a beautiful old leather-bound map of New York City. Old, and this is, you know, streets, postal zones, subways, and bus lines. Of course, everything's changed, right? Here's another old one. Michelin. Frank Jewelry Fashion, St. Paul, Minnesota, 1924. You know, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you wanted to see, right? Yeah, you better believe I'm aware of it. And I've got tons of this stuff, guys. I've got tons of this stuff stashed away. And these are smalls in a tub. Look how many I'm holding here. These are one at a time on eBay, 99 cents, letting it fly. Now let's get into one more situation here. Okay, we got that. What's here? Old magazines. Good Lord knows why I keep these. But, you know, if anything, I'll sell them in lots and sell them on eBay. What are your guys' opinions on these? Keeping old magazines from the 60s and 70s. You know, these are things I would get out of a dumpster and I couldn't throw them away. I had to stash them. Now, the pocketbooks, obviously I'm not going to be able to uncover them. But I'm going to show you a collection that I actually did start to film the other day and got interrupted by the significant other, my beautiful wife, girlfriend Amy. Old photographs. I've got tubs of these. I have bought these whenever I could. You know, you just love this kind of stuff. 1 year old. Just this little boy. You say, well, what's so special about that? Well, man, look at these scenes. You know, I think he has a rooster or a chicken in his hand right here. Mind you, I'm not from the farm, so I can't tell you exactly if it's a rooster or a chicken from the picture. 7 years old, 5 years old, 3 years old. Got all kinds of stuff like this. I would buy these old scrapbooks, and I still do whenever I can. I love this stuff. Wedding anniversary. An old building being torn down. An old piece of property. A man on his horse in the middle of a dirt road. Early. I love this stuff. Look at this picture here. Good Lord, is that a woman she's riding on? My God. Sister-in-law. Look at that animal there. No wonder she's riding her. I love these. I love them, I love them, I love them. So I know that these don't fall under paper goods, but these fall under old photographs. Look at this one. Obviously an accident. They're changing the tire. And I'm sorry, guys, if this thing doesn't focus brutally enough for you. You know, the flip camera. You know, that bonnet almost looks like a frickin' German helmet. Football gear. Look at this. 1929. A fuzzy picture of a football team. 1924. 1919 football team. Look at this. Man, I love it. He's holding a gun. You can't see it, but it's right there leaned up against him. Wow. Okay, so that's not even what we're getting at. When I was saying I was getting ready to film something for you. Here's another thing. I picked these up at a garage sale. I got them all for $5. Someone stupidly stuck a sticker on there, which I'll never get off. I have a weakness for monkeys. Look at these monkeys. I love them. These are in rough condition, but very early. Look at this one. It's kind of a space crossover. You got the monkey offering bananas to a Martian, right? Paper goods? Not so much. But here comes the goodies, brother. I've got 2 books right here, albums. Now these albums here, I'm going to give you a background on it. This was from a little girl. Her parents owned a convenience store, general store, early 1900s, late 1800s, and she would take every advertisement piece that would come into the shop and she would save them and put them in these scrapbooks. So these scrapbooks are loaded with, from a bridge book for White Castle. We just seen one of those, right? To stuff like this. African Americana. Look at these, brother. Now these books are loaded. Now here's a tough question, right? Most of these seem to be glued in here, so I'm torn. When it comes time to sell these, shit, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I really don't, because obviously I cannot just rip them out. Oh my God, look at that. You got caught stealing the chickens. That ain't right. He's stealing oranges and the dog's got him. These guys are eating watermelon. So what do, man? This is in a book. Paper collectors, what would you do? If I were to list this on eBay, I cannot take a picture of every single frickin' page on here. It would be thousands of pictures. So that's the tough call. Do I rip out each page and just sell each page? Look at that postcard. Look at this. This is an advertisement for the Dolly automobile. Unbelievable. Can you imagine being able to buy that or find it today even? Look at it, from jewelry, right? Huge piece, huge piece. Tons of this stuff. I've got 2 books of this. Now that's not even thumbing through it brutally to give you an idea of what I'm sitting on. But guys, paper goods, smalls, you want to do that. When you're at a garage sale, estate sale, you see a big old box full of paper goods, buy it all. One time, I was digging in a dumpster and I found a ticket book for the very first season the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings NFL team, were in existence. Being in Minnesota, obviously, that's what's going to pop up. And I think it was 1969, whatever. It was their first season, and every home game, they had the whole booklet. Now, they took the tab off of each ticket, but they left all the tickets in the booklet. Well, I found that. I took it home, I put it on eBay, and I did a buy it now for 500 bucks. A guy emailed me. He said, man, where did you come up with this price of 500 bucks? I said, you know what? I didn't look anywhere. I'm shooting it from the hip. It's NFL history. I feel that it's worth that. And if I could have that piece today, I probably would have sat on it. That would have been a nice piece because that is huge. I got the 500. Boom, sold it. Guys, get out there. Paper goods, old toys. I mean, you have got to be diverse in your picking and your collecting. A lot of guys pigeonhole themselves. They say, oh, I love crock pots, I like pottery, I like antique toys, I like military, and then they don't go outside of those boundaries. You have got to go outside those boundaries. If you have not seen it, if it's unique, frickin' buy it. And buy it cheap. That's the trick. If you buy it big time from a dealer, you ain't going to make no money because remember, a lot of these guys have already run it through the system and then they're unloading it. But if you get a fresh batch, you're at a garage sale and there's an old box full of magazines and clippings and business cards and photographs, buy the whole frickin' box. Do not sit there picking through it one at a time. You can always get a better deal. What I always say to the people, can I make a pile? Then you make a pile and you say, how much for just everything? I know you wanted 5 for this, you wanted 10 for that. If I just take all of this stuff, what kind of deal can I get? Buy it all. Get it all. Then you go home and then you dig through the box. I know many a times you'll be thumbing through there and you're going to pull out something and you're going to go, holy. And that's going to pay for you to get out there and buy, let's say you do collect World War II stuff. You invest in that, whatever. Keep that machine oiled. Keep picking paper goods. And I do have a stash of pocketbooks like you would not believe that are awesome. And I keep them to the content of the cover. Do the graphics jump out at me? Old detective books, old sexual books. And when I say sexual, you know, they weren't really, they're not pornographic. They kind of just teeter on the edge. Back in the old days, there'd be a picture of a girl and say, oh, the naughty nurse. Stuff like that. Love it. Scoop it up. Stash it away. I've got tons of stuff like that. Get out there. Get picking. Thanks for the idea. Thanks for putting me on the spot on it. There's your video. And we can always shoot more, guys. Remember, paper goods, dude. Big money. Hell!